Good afternoon, everyone. This is Chris Herman from Story of the Season. I'm here with University of Chicago football head coach Chris Wilkerson to talk about the season. Coach, thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Coach, I know we started the season off in an interesting way, 0-2 to start, and really picked things up since then. Can you talk a little bit about how the team's adjusted and dealt with the adversity to get to where they are now?
Sure. Yeah, we put a lot of investment, certainly in the offseason, and nobody wants to start 0-2, but our complete and total focus for us is really on the Midwest Conference. And so we've taken the opportunity to use those first two games of the season, each of the last actually 4 years, before we get into our conference games, as an evaluation opportunity. A little bit, some things that we're doing offensively, defensively, and special teams wise, and certainly talent. And then, we have the bye after those first two non-league games, and it gives us a chance to kind of reevaluate, but we truly treat it as a preseason. And certainly, our goal is to win every time we step on the field. But the kids have done a great job, just being a really, really resilient group, having the next play mentality. And our complete and total focus has just been on trying to improve every single week. And that's the thing I'm most pleased about, to where we are at this point in time. Certainly the opening game was not where we wanted to be, but we improved a lot in the second game, even though we didn't end up with a win, and certainly have improved incrementally in each of the three phases and as a team and from a chemistry standpoint, the rest of the way to get us on this 4-game winning streak. So I'm really excited about, watching these guys try to finish what we started and just continue to focus on, the next play, the next opportunity, the next man up, and improving and growing as a family.
I know we're coming off a big win against Cornell, and now we've had some time to rest a little bit in this last week. When we look back both offensively and defensively, I know we've had a lot of different guys step up, from Marco Cobian at quarterback to Martinson at running back. Just want to let you talk a little bit about how they've developed over the course of the season, and then talk a little bit about the defense as well.
Sure. It starts for us on both sides of the ball, inside out, front to back, up front. And I think our offensive line has continued to progress, and they've been phenomenal. The 5 seniors, Michael Heastand, Matt Zimmerman, Doug Barkowski, Jacob Mooney, and Harrison Paul, and a number of other guys that have continued to play more and more snaps up front. But they've given us an opportunity to certainly run the football more efficiently as the season's gone on, and allow our quarterback to stand upright in the pocket and deliver the football. Certainly, you mentioned Marco. He's been outstanding, probably one of my all-time favorite players. Just the amount of adversity he's had to overcome during the course of his career through injuries and, not being asked to actually be the starter and still maintain his composure, his commitment, improving all the time, and just being as competitive and as gritty as anybody I've ever been around. And, he's just been outstanding. He's been efficient. His leadership's been amazing. He's willing to extend plays with his feet and be a ball carrier if needed. But certainly his passing has just continued to improve and improve and improve. And I'm so grateful to have him and looking forward to watching him finish. The receivers on offense, it's been really by committee. Dante Neppa, our senior wideout, has really stepped up. We made some movements again after the bye week, and he moved inside back to his Y position, kind of his natural position in high school. And it's been really good to watch him grow and be able to, try to get him some more targets. And he's been very productive with the ball in his hands. But there's been a number of guys on the perimeter that have all been ready with their numbers called. In the backfield, you mentioned it. Martinson's kind of been the staple, the mainstay, but we do have a stable of talented running backs. And, at the beginning of the season, our second team all league as a first year last year, Nick DeAmbrose was coming off of an ACL in the last game. And, he wasn't ready during the first 2 weeks, but after the bye, he did start to play those first 2 games and then, strained a hamstring. So we expect to get him back this week. Michael's been phenomenal, returning punts, playing on special teams, catching the football, running the football. Vittorio Tricasi was another one that came in with a hamstring strain. And we just got him back 2 weeks ago. And certainly last week, he had almost 150 yards on 7 or 8 carries, including a school record, 95-yard touchdown run. It's really nice to have, that kind of crew. Another kid that's a junior, Riley Treadle's been ready when his number's called. And we've even had some other guys roll through there. Matthew Nagler, Greg Asari, and even Jake Lowe. So, all the backs have been heavily involved, and they know, hey, they're an unselfish group, and their job never changes, just to take care of the ball, block the blitz, and make plays when they got the ball in their hands, find the end zone. So it's been really good. I'm excited about the growth on offense. We've really had a lot of people step up. Whether we run it or throw it, it's just about taking what everybody gives you each week, and trying to have one more point than they do at the end of the game. On defense, it's been fun to watch them continue to grow too. Again, it wasn't really the start that we wanted, and we did move some people around. But up front, like I said, it starts up front, and I think certainly Jackson Ross has been a mainstay in the middle and leads our team in tackles. Ben Christensen is another guy, our defensive end, senior, just a phenomenal player. Can play the run, can play the pass, is always around the football. Leads our team kind of in splash plays with sacks, tackles for loss, forced fumbles, fumble recoveries. Our linebacking crew has been really, really solid. Certainly Henry Weinbrake and one of our co-captains, Zach Atia, have been, outstanding, handling the majority of the snaps inside. But, some guys that have kind of come out in the linebacking crew and have really played well. Graham Rep is a guy that has done some phenomenal things for us the last 4 weeks and continues to improve. And then certainly, some other inside linebacker guys, George Coyle and Josh Godosky are some guys that have been phenomenal, just providing a physical presence and some athleticism and playing on the special teams and when their number's called on defense, and have given great effort. And the secondary's been solid all season. We were fortunate to have some guys back, and certainly senior safety Bill Rotnicki's kind of been the leader of that group. One of our other co-captains, Ryan Montgomery, has been a phenomenal player for us at our corner position, and then Mekhi Robinson at the other corner. We've had some bumps and bruises along the way, and we've rolled some other guys through, but Jason Hine, Braden Junker, and certainly Michael Lawler have kind of manned that other safety position. But Daniel Cho was another guy, our nickel, that missed a couple games, but is back and has been playing very, very well. And again, I'm excited just to see those guys continue to improve as we get ready for this challenge this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned so many different names, and I'm really glad that at the beginning, much respect and appreciation is due to the O-line and the D-line, and they don't get enough love. So I'm glad that we could talk about that a little bit, especially with the way they've been able to support the run game this year. I want to talk a little bit about some of the guys, some of the other people that maybe we don't always hear about, and I was hoping you could perhaps shed some light on who's making the team better Monday through Friday, but not on Saturday.
Absolutely. Well, and that's a big part of it. We talk a lot about family and, love, care, and respect. And the most important thing that we stress to our players is that every single member of our program provides value. Whether they are, banged up and they're helping us film, or whether they are banged up and they're helping us with chains or spotting the football, or whether they're just playing scout team reps and trying to get the defense or the offense or the special teams ready. Everybody provides value, and at the end of the season, our entire body of work is going to be judged as a team. Certainly, everybody'd like to be one of those first 11 that get out there on offense or defense or special teams, but we try to do the best we can in terms of rolling guys through. But there's been just a ton of guys that have really stepped up. Dylan Ferris is a kid that doesn't get talked about a ton at all. He has actually played quite a bit of football for us as our super back. He's asked to do a lot of blocking. He plays on all of our special teams. He's always out there helping the defense get a look. Alex Ital is another guy that plays line of scrimmage tight end for us, is involved in the special teams. Some of the younger guys, James Mott, Jack Goodkin, Oliver Morton, Shea Elliott, Giovanni Longo, Jake Lowe. There's just a ton of guys. I mean, I could go on and on and on, but every time that they step on the field, they bring value. Everybody does. And the ultimate goal is to help us as a family be the best that we can be on those 10 Saturdays and, see where we're at the end of the season. But we value everybody's contributions during the course of the season and just look forward to watching them try to finish strong.
Now, turning the page, we have an opponent in Monmouth this week. Can you talk a little bit about them and what you guys are going to need to do to be successful?
Certainly. Yeah, big game. Every game is, and it's just the next game, next up, next mentality. We've after starting 0-2, and then certainly with Grinnell, not finishing their season, so we don't get that opportunity. We talked to the kids at the beginning after the bye about no team in the history of the University of Chicago in the modern era has won 7 games in a row. And so, hey, we took care of opportunity number 1, opportunity number 2, opportunity number 3, opportunity number 4. This is opportunity number 5. And then we'll move on to, 6, and we'll see where we're at for 7. And if we were, for some reason, win 7 in a row, we'd have an opportunity to play 8. So this just is the next up. It's the 5th opportunity in this stretch. And Monmouth has certainly been the gold standard of the South Division in the Midwest Conference. They do return some people from last year's team that was very good and played in the 1v1 play-in game against St. Norbert. They did not win that game, but they had a phenomenal year. They played up in their out-of-league schedule. They played Wartburg College and they played Wheaton College, who are both top 25 Division III football teams. So they are a physical football team. They pride themselves on being able to run the football and stopping the run. And, they play very hard and physically in their special teams phases. On defense, they're pretty multiple. There'll be a little bit of 3-man front, a little bit of 4-man front. It kind of depends on the week. But they're going to be a split safety operation, and they pride themselves, again, on defense, just trying to stop the run. So, our goal is certainly going to be able to try to limit their running attack this weekend. And if the quarterback can beat us as a thrower, well, then I'll tip my hat to him at the end of the day. But we don't want to let them run the football. On offense, we know we need to score the football. I don't think they're really built to come from behind. So if we can start fast and continue to take what they give us, if they want to crowd the line of scrimmage, we got to be able to, throw it. And if they want to play us in coverage, then we've got to be able to run it efficiently. And the goal is to have one more point than our opponent at the end of every game. But I'm really looking forward to the opportunity. They certainly didn't play some of their starters even in their last game against Cornell College. So I think, both teams have been looking forward to this moment, for quite a while.
Right. I'm sure after 4 wins, you guys are just itching to get back on the field. Coach, I appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do.